Dean Russell.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I want to reflect on this from a point of view of work that I did last year. I spent some time with some foster care leavers and training with them. And one of the things that really came across to me was that there were several parts to their personality. And of course, this isn't just a broad brush thing, but there was an immense ambition there and an immense wish to have a normal life, as it were. But the problem was, quite often, the confidence wasn't there. They'd felt let down. They'd felt abandoned. And therefore, the system, in that sense, has a real challenge to be able to ensure that there's a consistency in their lives, that there's an ability for their lives to move on and not feel like, during any crisis, that they're left behind and ignored. And my reading of these amendments aren't about trying to reduce safeguarding. It's about enabling the machine, as it were, the machinery of government, local government, of social care, to support these young children, these young people, to be able to get the support that they need. And I think the challenge I see with this is that absolutely, I 100% agree these need to be temporary. Absolutely. I absolutely need to be able to hear the safeguarding measures are there, and that we'll hear updates, as other people around as other members have mentioned around the chamber, around making sure that this is being monitored. But what I do fear is that if we don't put these sorts of measures in place, then the problem is the mechanics, the reality of the day-to-day lives where people can't go to their jobs and do the social care work, where there aren't the opportunities in offices to make sure things are being moved forward. These children and young people will once again feel that they've been left to the back, they've been ignored and they've been forgotten. And one of the biggest challenges in anyone's lives to overcome is the unknown. And COVID has been an unknown situation for all of us. But you imagine for those young people in care, not knowing whether they will actually reach at some point their forever home, that they will actually get to that point where they'll have a family around them. And I think with this today and the debate, what we have to remember is behind each and every single one of those statistics that have been shared, that there's a life. There's a young child or young person with ambition who wants to have a family, who wants to have normality. And I think if we can use this in a way to ensure that happens, that's going to be critical. And of course, we need to make sure safeguarding and all of those things are absolutely paramount. But by making it so that we make the machine continue to work in their favour and support them is absolutely critical. Oh, please, yes, I'll give way.
He talks about the machinery, and indeed the Children's Commissioner has said her concern is the starting point for these regulations is that it's about easing pressures on services rather than thinking about what is right for the child in front of those services. These are the most vulnerable children, even more vulnerable at a time like this. Doesn't he think we've got the balance wrong here by focusing more on the machine than on the child?
It's an excellent point, and I appreciate you making that as an intervention. I think actually the balance has always got to be on both. We've got to make sure that the wraparound care is there for young people so that they can be supported. The machine isn't necessarily an anonymous, amorphous blob of mechanics. It's actually people, it's social carers who are doing that work on the ground, who should already be trusted in their roles. And so for me, it's not about trying to say, let's just keep going with ignorance to the vulnerable people involved in this and young people. It's actually about making sure that that is still working for them. And everything that I've seen in here so far, whilst there's some concerns, I do think are really reflective of the fact that we need to enable everything to continue, as it should do, to enable these young people to get to their homes and to get to families and to get to the support that they need.